everything, yeah. My everything is you, Lord. Yeah. Ha-ha. Oh, 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 oh. Everybody say, ah. Say, oh, oh. Say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough, yeah. Enough to say thank you. Say, Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. Say, Lord, you are, Lord, you're my everything. Say, I call you Zion. You're my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my battle. I call you Rapha.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specializing in a range of legal services, including family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary and family law. At BWF, our solicitors are pleased to offer high-quality legal representation at competitive rates. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, has over 29 years' experience as a lawyer in the UK. BWF Solicitors provide independent and practical legal assistance for all kinds of family matters, such as childcare, contested and uncontested divorce, and injunctions for domestic violence. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you in this difficult time, which is why we offer confidential advice delivered in a sensitive manner. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation in all family and matrimonial cases. We are located at 4th floor Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, London, N15 4NP, just a short walk from Seven Sisters Underground.
Hello, Tilfo Nashfo. The better BWF Solicitors for legal opportunities. I don't pay me to say, Trillium, Omoye, Minsome, Obibiara, Moshe, Islam comes, say, what do we feed the I can say it said the Brem. And then so I don't know, I don't know, Emma, the son of my friend. You will never do that, yet the bedroom. Sitting here in fear of the you did say, and then so sad, I cried, ye did no papa, and Bama. Yeah, and I did become as he said. Yes, sorry, pay, and it's not I say, ye bad did you mind now, so yet, ye share, ye are so etable, it's ye summer air coso, our Yuki ha, and now a far ye immigration on some, a fire legal matters. A fire litigation dispute on some. I fancy a some fire gun, ya yamra, a fire and also a farm summer. It's yet is sana, near a dear nepo, a dear na, for a dog for me, and no, I am concerned about. Nah, you to make I say. Your lawyers, I can think I know whether you may achieve near to from. Na oma be chire oma mo dia be to ho say ni say na eko yes ye nya sa ni die na ama etumi senia e betutu ya na mo yie enti e beda mo asibio na e beda ye solicitors so ase and na Friday the 14th of January na nsia ye di Christmas ye ya ye di America airport ni nyina se obetutu anamu yie obetutu bibie yie se ne ebe ya emre ni airport no na nyoma sesa nyoma foforo eba nyoma dada no airport na wo nso odanda wo ho saa ana are you catching up with the law that is in the system? Are you aware what is going on? Have you checked your surroundings to know exactly with my legal status what I can do or I can do? And then so Jimre, kaya ho moba so a bomodia na share my mo ya na mo twen wo other platform. Ye wo BW radio so, ye wo BW TV so, all the BW communication platforms na nyina ye wo so. Sanso na wo BWF Solicitors on mo platform and also mo site website na wo de ne nam ha wo besan kwa akohia ye e wo ho. Na kire se ye tene ye nchen mo. Sanso na mo sente ye BW radio ewo emse Ghana web kra ukwa obenya BW radio so ukwa radio garden so a obenya yen wo ho na yesan wo streaming so net say ye tinetini ye ahye mu enti no obetumi enya yen wo baby bebre ene medam ase matunsa afre yen senior partner odi Dr. Bernard Owusu lawyer papa bi na papa we ye kano imra sama nyame aye adom afiwe na chese wenya 30 solid blessed good years wa practices law yi obi beka se awonko na owo ya ti se brinka wenya na council nchese wa bi mu yi na through his practices ni nyina so no dodo na approve no se oye excellent na ye hwe emra ni mu a akotene mienu kakra kebi a ebo ma ba so no let us say immigration ni family law dear ufa bebia omo no mo dem Uncle Ben ene nyame adom wa beka ye ho ye ni ba di ntuma. Good morning Uncle Ben.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, my mate.
Uncle Ben de why you file yo bedas Uncle Ben meto ama no we chichi adofo ne atiefo na afedie ne wo ho no na e di atoaso
Okay. Anuanom na agyanom enanom anɔpɛ deɛ yɛkyia mu nyinaa meyɛ sure sɛ once nyame ama yɛn akwanya sɛ yɛne mu bɛdi nkɔmmɔ deɛ na kyerɛ sɛ obiara ho yɛ nti yɛkyia mo I hope sɛ obiara ho yɛ anɔpɛ yi sɛ topic yɛafa no ɛyɛ topic bi a sɛbe it affects obiara wɔ ha biara nti wɔnyɛ ɔmo pestay and ɔmo yɛ illegal wɔ ha wɔyɛ even yɛ mmaa yɛawo ɔmo koraa wɔ ha ɛne sɛbe ɔmo abɛtena ha yɛnya British citizenship ne nyinaa ɛyɛ topic a ɛnɛ yɛde ba nti manyɛ tii sana wokaeɛ no makyia ɔmo na topic no nso hopefully no yɛbɛtumi educate community no na information ɔmo hia a also ɔmo de bɛyɛ ɔmo decisions no na yɛde ama wɔn.
Yo, Uncle Ben, yedase sa. Tiofo na adofo, mesan bɔ mo kae, mesrɛ mo ani die mo koba so a. Hwɛ ase ho be ho baby atro share bɔ mo dia na share mai. Yesan wɔ YouTube so. Nti wokɔ hɔ nso na wotie yɛ wɔ ha na wohwɛ wɔ hɔ a ɛno nso share. Ne ɛfɛ kra ne sɛ emre sɛ wonni adwuma mu na wo fie a wo turn on your television na wokɔ YouTube dodo na nyame ayɛ adom yato TV ana yɛfrɛ no smart TVs no yɛwɔ YouTube app ne wɔ so wokɔ hɔnom na wohwɛ wobɔ BW anasɛ BW radio ana BWF Solicitors for ɛbɛba wobɛhu a legal hour ne bɛyi epi na wahwɛ yɛn kama wɔ TV so na kyerɛ sɛ wohwɛ no na w'ani agye yo ene ye chinchi mwa na ya san fofa topic yi bi e de aba topic na ene sen na sana ye beko topic ni so no medical ebisa Uncle Ben ayembia na wotwe de ye se e wo ha yi na nso no edoso nyoma esi wo na wotwe mu no e ya na edoso yi adekyin ni adesa kra no emonsem edoso na enim se emre mu so ayewe de bibia yeti asem foforo na yembia ne potoka se me ka se update anase bibi ada ne ho a ewo mra ne mu a Uncle Ben anope me pa ocho so betumi ama ye update ka kra na afedie ye de ato asna nsa na obeba no so mema etiefo me bom kokko yen system no like I said last week no ye trying period ye da so try hwe se bibia beto yi se ne be ya afi ye kwa na chese yidi meka na ye ko enti se ayembia wo hwe ye utie ye na se bibi tichima enye bo akwaye nsrem obetumi amaya suti na yitumi edina so ne de ateneten nyoma in the future. It's wherever you are watching us from, baby a wohwe bia no nsrewo bibi enkoyi abomodia test bra Facebook ne so ana say unti sound unti bibi picture wherever it is bia no mesrewo nakaba Facebook na WhatsApp no so sine be ya nyame ya doma next week na we keep on improving into metawasi Uncle Ben mesrewo pacho update bi ewo ha
Yo manyeti update wo ho no in relation to ya ma ya wo mo ha and I will be ote ha or apply for student finance. Na student finance no student finance regulation na chere requirements bi wo ho a wo se wo da either say wo asetena wo ha and as a one definite leave or a case of tiagria Supreme Court a decision now even Article 2 of the European Convention of Human Rights, Protocol number 1, and Article 14, no, address the right to education, no, se bibi wo be si ukwan a ubetimi at the court na abaya my about student finance, no, although say university education, no, and your right, no, yet, no, once abaya the about supporting Crawford, no, cases ni bi wo ho a omasom say obi apply for student finance na ebi an application also ye COVID by ye na ebi anka was say your man indefinite leave na time of say obeba akoye sa priority application and a premium application of the man indefinite leave and almost suspended for 6 months inti high court and say unreasonable say you be refusing student finance inti mo amwo ma be call university or apply for student finance. No? That's just a student finance regulation. No? Say, by the date now, or start our course, no? Usually I September, no? Now was our indefinite leave, and I say we indefinite leave, and in accordance with the case of Tiagre, no? That's just say, lawful residents, waha, just say, will be to but sometimes, you know, so applications, we, you know, we call home office, I check into court and say, once over reasonable expectation and a legitimate expectation say ya debe ma within the law no unkra indefinite no and a unkra with limited leave to remain sana the case of Tiagre kana our still no ya ma student finance which is very very good because obi wo ho no application na akwa check according months or possibly sometimes even a couple of years na omonye decision court and say in that case you know because of what legitimate expectations say bema indefinite leave and in accordance with case of Tiagre Supreme Court case you know say bema limited leave you know say you fancy your passport to the once application no and now say in the case of the recent High Court case you know say COVID and na BBS you quanti untimi nye priority application e be delay your application now yes sister was your student finance enti ano ye ade aba very very good ema obia sebe nyame ya dom na oba enya university mu kwan a normally no aya wanhwe ya na makoye no fee paying na e wose okopiska na oditua but because of this case you know unya will definitely live no kra etime boa.
Okay, Uncle Ben, yeah, that's it. Nature say asempa ene e kano adivia adichivia e be sorry no na bibi e wo system ne mo na mo na mo betumi e de abrɛ dodo na yem pa kenkan ne yem peducity no e to de bia ya antititi say ya na che say ya in the dark Uncle Ben nyame nhyira na mpotiefo amotie mi this an opportunity mamu twentwɛn mo na ase ye ba ye fa school enter ye ni ase kakra na eboa bebree sisi a say ubenya student finance bia why not give it a try and I believe say unya qualification ka crazy the kind wo na ubetumi ya papa yo Uncle Ben ene yemko yen main topic ne so ansa na medu ho no etiefo a motie ye mo Facebook ne so nyina nyame nhyira mo medamase monkoso an share me who said do na ka share wo ho mesra mo monkoso na mon share maye o sa so botimi ahwe yen so e wo YouTube ne so and also modo on ma na mon share sa na mon ma comment whilst you keep liking it and also ehia yen pa yo Uncle Ben ye hwe mu ina che say ye si ye beka dodo na yenya your friend is saying migrant British citizenship no anase ya yekita dual nationality no you see yenya consent should we be concerned nature say bibi eba anase bibi aba anase bibi was system ni mu ana yenya ahwewie enti no ene no mebisa nyoma bi say na we bisa ye ho should we be concerned ohwa dem factors dear na eba dear important na or say ya yekita saa tibia no yenhwe ahweye anase was say yehwe ahweye ana I believe you understood my question Pacho. Mentonka
Honourable Member for Halton Price and Howden, to which I have added my name. It seeks the removal of Clause 9, tabled by the Home Secretary. Honourable Member for Halton Price and Howden, to which I have added my name. It seeks the removal of Clause 9, tabled by the Home Secretary, seeking to deprive UK nationals of citizenship without notice. Madam Deputy Speaker, this is an extraordinary amendment that has caused shockwaves across communities, and particularly in Feltham and Heston, it has really affected the South Asian community. I'm grateful to all who have written into me and signed the petition that has almost 150,000 signatures. I also want to thank the immigration solicitor, Mr. Harjat Bungle, for his work and awareness raising around this. I was born in Britain, in Hammersmith, in West London. I grew up in Hounslow. It appears that the law as drafted, I could theoretically, in future, be deprived of my citizenship with no notice and potentially without appeal because my parents were born in another country, even though they became British nationals and served their community with distinction. Perhaps the Minister in his closing remarks will be able to say whether or not this could ever be able to happen to anyone. Because what it appears is that this is a thin end of an appalling wedge. Members of my extended family were also amongst those who were expelled from Uganda and with mass expulsions of the Indian community. And I'm sure the Minister will understand why this has caused such concern. The Home Secretary's clause would amend the British Nationality Act 1981, which currently requires the Secretary of State to give notice, give a person written notice of their deprivation order, the reasons for the order and the person's right of appeal. Clause 9, subsection 2, specifies circumstances in which the Secretary of State would be able to deprive a person of their citizenship without notice, briefly including that the Secretary of State doesn't have the information to give notice, or it would not be reasonably practical to give notice for any other reason, or for giving notice, if giving notice would not be in the interest of national security, relations with another country, or otherwise in the public interest. Now tell me what relations with another country means. If, in theory, a foreign government with whom the government is negotiating a trade deal says that they want British citizenship revoked from a group of people that they would like to see returned back to their country of origin as a condition, possibly for political reasons, the Home Secretary could, in theory, do it, and without saying why. It is not what is likely that this is about, it is what becomes possible. And there is no practical reason for this change. The present rules governing notice allow for citizenship deprivation letters to be delivered to the individual's last known address. I cannot support this new clause from the Home Secretary, which has breathed a huge distrust and insecurity into the lives of millions living peacefully and law-abidingly in this country, that the state could have this power and without needing to give explanation that may not just affect them, but also their children and grandchildren. And I would urge all to support Amendment 12 today.
Mehotra, particularly eloquent disposition our parliament or highlighted problems bebree wo muhu signatures nkrofo eje abana respond on the 6th of January or say signatures na abano almost about 1 million no all accepted or go ahead or my second reading, which means it's finished with the House of Commons, like just on passes our act. Now let me explain. Yenina ya wahano say we a foreigner now obaha most often than not, with citizenship of another country. And many countries allow dual nationality. And to say, we have British citizenship now, allow ma keep nationality either as Ghanaian or some other national. So now within the Ghanaian constitution, say citizenship through parents, owu obawa ha, all those or a British kuta British passport within the Ghanaian constitution, obani a Ghanaian as well. To me say, me money all those omo British citizens are omo nyina nso Ghanaians. Omo wa all those omo mano British citizens omo mano nso Ghanaians. And this is where the problem is. First of all, within the British Nationality Act of 1981, since 1976, and particularly since terrorism started 2007, 2008, the Osama bin Laden started, Abayano use particular section of the 1981 Act, or they deprive British citizens of their nationality. The case is very popular. Yebeya or call Afghanistan omaje the citizenship, Begum omaje the citizenship. So that's one particular extreme of the case. Those are cases, all those it's a bit worrying, and affected majority of people. But with the current bill, a friend of nationality and borders bill, Clause 9, sometimes a friend of Clause 9, sometimes a friend of Clause 19, because you started, the bill no call parliament, that's our Clause 9, no. Now, be friend holding clauses, I know you're empty, and you almost slide away at the koshimo without anybody's knowledge. Now, the question is, why are we concerned? The current dispensation under Section 46 of the British Nationality Act, say ye wo British citizenship every unsema abano ema notice abano ma notice and first of all no obetro say what na nawusu or British citizenship for national security reasons, for fraud reasons, or for some other stated reason ye pese ye different unsem then I will work home and omo be state omo grounds ntia omo de gi free unsem. Now one sa notice no ye post to brow ye email brow and I see the mouth. Case of D essay sa notification no se won hunipa na still na I was say we active search say what they hwehwe nipa no now the sa notice na ma no. Bear in mind say within the law no see ye hu a o betimi aserve notice on file, which means you physically and file notice in the but still on the file. But that is the exception rather than the rule. The current dispensation, notice ought to be served. And in 2003, there was a Supreme Court decision, Court of Appeal decision. A state said in every case, the government must make attempt to find the person who is liable to deportation, and also will be a year revoke the citizenship. The new bill, Sabaya law, one, they don't have to serve you notification. And to me, I'm me ba or ye won or how you're British, but invariably or say Ghanaian, actively on J Ghanaian passport. Se me bano for some reason, and I will state the reasons, reasons of national security, reasons of fraud, and some other stated reason. Say the citizenship, and I me British citizenship a free sema. All those say meti UK hano. Government need duty say obehwehweme. Until one of the reasons into a government serve with the notice and say one, it is impractical to serve you. Now, who determines impracticability? Why is it impractical? Law no ain't defining what is impractical. Until say me ko Ghana, na me wo Ghana. The government can say it is impractical to serve me because omunim address or Ghana, and therefore no, me call Ghana as a British citizen. No, I cannot return to the UK. What we seem to forget is although I came here as an immigrant, had indefinite leave to remain, and then naturalized as a British citizen. Once I became British, I don't have indefinite leave to remain again because my status has been upgraded and I'm no longer subject to the immigration control. Until you give me British citizenship free in summer, meaning indefinite leave, I cannot return to the UK. That's fine. Look at my son. If for some reason, Nyamin Pengu, me bane to kwan ko Ghana, or to kwan ko Singapore, or to kwan ko Hong Kong, on his British passport, na bibinti abane se eye impractical to serve him with the deprivation of his citizenship. They can serve him. Sorry, they can serve him on the file without giving the notices to him. Which means that my bano ain't member back because my bano under the Ghanaian constitution or a Ghanaian. Obi a oya Ghana ni bia wo ewo abrochire ewo America ewo UK a obani American or a British or sa eye Ghanaian enti o betimi agene passport tese no mo ye Shamima Begum a o agene British citizenship because almost say the parents are Bangladeshis enti o betimi akọ Bangladesh. And this is where the problem is. The other problem are almost serve would notice and say omunim address. So impractical means say ebi kromunim address, but they can't serve you. The other one is say omunim address. The other one is for reasons of state security. Now, come on. What reasons of state security? Let's put this aside. Yenyina yehu say appeals are a court tribunal between 40 and 50% are successful, which means the Secretary of State decisions are all about half have been declared unlawful or illegal or not in accordance with the law. So that yenimse half of the decisions are unlawful. Sa Secretary of State ya onuana or bekase for reasons of state security may deprive of British citizenship. Anyway, min kancherel enti wonam ho ukra British passport o feel say we are British but ya British citizenship e free nsem. Ti misio bo na wutu kwan a wuntimi ba back biom. And then we are saying say UK by the Magna Carta Magna Carta by your implicit rules, by your explicit laws, UK is a law-abiding country. UK assigned various conventions, including the convention not to make someone a stateless person. And to say UK assigns our laws here, other than UK implicitly in this case, and sometimes explicitly, all your British citizens, stateless people. Within this law, there's supposed to be a protection, say a Jew citizenship ni free unsema. That would need another citizenship. And you see a Jew citizenship. It is a stateless because Britain assigns our convention. And you saw but come on, manyati, se wo ba wa won wo kromo. Wako Ghana acha 2 weeks on call Ghana da. But because Ghanaian constitution is all your Ghanaian, so you get a British citizenship free in Sema, or make us on your stateless because all your Ghanaian. The other reason, diplomatic relations with another country. Ain't so Britain, any China, any Russia, any Cambodia, any Vietnam, any ubi sign agreement. Na Britain feels say a trade agreement to be here. Na sa Chinese for no kase. Ye pese wo je Chinese person yo wo yi. Ye pese wo je ne citizenship free in sem. Sa na wetimi mo deport na ba China. It seems that they may do it because the state interest in the supply of maybe military equipment, military aircraft worth billions of pounds. It may be said they will put more emphasis on that, saying what civil rights. And that is why we say now it's too late. As it stands, it's too late. But we can still apply force on our MPs. So, one, we should be mindful, say law be ba. I was say ye manum ekasa. I was say ye ho kasa. Say, until say ombe revoke law no. I was say ye careful, say ye mfa ye ho enkoshe ni emebi mo a ebetimi ama ya ye citizenship free and sim. The sad thing is that you may be working as a British citizen, but implicitly, not a revocable citizen, until you will be working as a person without any state, a stateless person, or you'll be working as a British citizen, but wouldn't need right to remain in the UK because your citizenship, British citizenship, has been revoked without notice to you. The other problem is that currently, you deprive of British citizens, you revoke of British citizens, under the British Citizenship Act, who are right of appeal because on the mouth notice. But where I am now notice, how can you appeal against the decision? Because when you are aware, say you revoke of citizenship. And that is why this is a very draconian decision. It is a very draconian law. It is law that strips British citizens and generations of British citizens of their dignity. It is a law that declares British citizens, some British citizens, as second-class citizens. And overwhelmingly, it applies to blacks, to people of color, to Asians, to Caribbeans, and to many, many people who have taken the UK as their country. Not only does it apply to first-generation migrants, it applies to the second generation, the third generation, and the fourth generation. Once you retain some connection with your heritage, they can strip you. Where Amafo said it is in the interest of national security, they can strip you of your citizenship. And that is why we find this as a worrying development in our country.
Wow, Uncle Ben, asma working one me shaky kakra. Na obi bet nature a layman, like I said, na some yes it's not fair. Now, young Shadia, you made mention, say, Obia, we are Ghana, o mammy, o papa, we are Ghana. Ya wa pala. Now, Apalana ya won wahano, maybe true morning to wait or your British citizens. Just say India Mumanya definitely or through those processes when you're British until I want a British citizen apala. Now MBA Nasa Apala no crano for the years waiting to maybe adult age Ghana no crime be on call bida and I say any other country no on call that in life na no ewaha. Sisia yemfa no say yes stripping no. Na wakoye bibia, rendering him or her as a stateless person. Se ebanisa, ehina o kumoka sembia onko Ghana. Onko hoda, onimo bia wo. Embia ono ena margin citizenship wo, but the parents they are still they are for what as far as I know more yen strip form off yet. Obisa no dear no say oye.
Worry because say woba Ghana ni bi ba ya wono waha na oye Britisher. Ghana ni no ba no say you're stripping of the British citizenship on your stateless. And that's where the worry is. Because every Ghanaian wawoba waha na ba na ye British no. Ne ba no so ye Ghana. That's what our constitution says. And although say actively on using a Ghanaian citizenship. He was born with it into a Ghanaian. And British government, and that's what they're doing to Shamima Begum. British government, ubetimi Ghana. I'm not worried about Omowaha per se, because you will have access to the courts. I'm worried about say Obebi ko Ghana, Obebi ko holiday. Na ya yes decision as stripping of the British citizenship because obetimi Ghana. na ontimi nremu a ehe na okokon saa ekono. And it can happen. I mean, I've dealt with cases, very sensitive cases, and I must be a bit careful. Omabedu Airport. 11 years ago, omo committed certain types of crime. Omabedu Airport, and yaji omo indefinite every omo. Yes, we went to court, we fought, and we got them their settlement back. But it involves a lot of pain, a lot of delay, sometimes detention, sometimes it's case here making the wife krenya efa hunya miscarriage because of the particularly difficult nature of the case. Where you don't have access to the British courts, we outside the UK, ya strip off for citizenship, when you're aware, the only time we are aware is we be do Heathrow. Near some ball back say or passport and you're when you're British. And because when you're British, we need indefinite leave, we won't mean remuno. I was so deep return and the airline will take you back. That is what I'm worried about. And only problem now, it's going to happen. And that's why Mahotra, our MP for Streatham, I emphasize on the need for us to ensure nka law nyamba. But Conservatives for over 80 member majority our parliament. So, it's gone through the second reading, which means it's almost the end of it. The sad thing is nipa na o lead sa law or a person of color. Or a person of color. Home Secretary, or a Patel. Sabi, yes, you won't know but the parents are first generation immigrants. In certain instances, it applies to her. And some members of parliament, if you take somebody like Kwesi Kwarteng, ni papa na ni mami nyina are Ghanaians. Yes, Kwesi Kwarteng is a Ghanaian. Is a Ghanaian by birth through his parents. And tiana Kwesi Kwarteng bi ono a sign say yenye sa loyi. Se BBC na Kwesi Kwarteng ye gene British citizenship. Ye betimi aje because obetimi akọ Ghana because the parents are Ghana and under our constitution he's a Ghanaian. And that is where the problem is. The problem is not only for people like you and I or for the ordinary person in the street. This affects almost every black person in the UK and every person of color and every immigrant, Polish nationals, Eastern Europeans, British. They can strip them of the British citizenship without notification to them. And this is why it is so life-changing. Minim nipa or drains because already they've got the power to strip people of their citizenship. But within that power to strip people of the citizenship, there's a requirement to give notice. And the courts have emphasized up to the Court of Appeal, said that notification, it means an active action on the part of the Secretary of State to serve that notice. This law is taking away the need to serve notice. If you're not aware and you don't have notice of a decision about your citizenship, how are you going to challenge that decision? You will only become aware when it's become almost impossible to enter the UK. And it comes with all sorts of implications. You will lose your work, you will lose your benefits, you may lose your housing because the housing people will say you are now an illegal person. They might take your housing from you. Can you imagine if you lose your work? There's no income. You might not be able to pay your mortgage, you might lose your house, you might not be able to pay your rent, you might lose it. Or nyamin pengu, if you have a disability and you are on benefits and you can't work, and they've stripped you of your citizenship, and you are illegal, you cannot claim your benefit, which means, sir, even your livelihood is been taken away. And that is why this is so life-changing.
Uncle Ben, in fact, as my okay, not my next question I noted down, and no boss is say, in the likeness of this, say, ya strip off. Na unim or system want to pay for you to go and then when returning before you get to know. What that's our system name. Meanwhile, we will say you try naked. Now, at what point, just say, yeah, take a decision, then they pass through and I said the information bema all these benefits is because they say I'm gonna centralize something. Na wa ni abeka say unya citizen biom into no mbia or council estate and a council flat no ye je from nsem. You made mention who benefits, so you die all those benefits unyano. What about what does you do? Sisiano unimo, is it going to go through the working system? No, say unya citizenship. Your internet say companies come requesting for your status now. Unim, let us say unibi, and also be affected with you. Which year with taxes, with tax you can say credits near the adina, a bear affected, but unim in this case now, how do you get to know? Do you have to wait until this information start coming to you that you are no more this person, so we are stripping off, we are taking from you, notice ben now benya, and I am more noticing so how long would that take until say clear over? Uncle Ben, I don't know if you understand me. The question now, baby,
well, I do understand you. I mean, first of all, no, Nema, why explaining, no, that is why this is a very bad law, a bad law, because the only time will be in certain cases, no, the only time I will be who say, when you remember you ready, onam police general. Where you driver's license. Yes, you driver's license you revoke. Benefit for actual send an usu. Mr. Housing benefit and disability allowance at the mount. You chem because you are a winning asset. A human are you ready? Unfortunately, because you are stripped of citizenship, we are unlawful and not illegal in UK. Which means well, livelihood has been taken away. It will be too late. Bear in mind, sir, where the notice is being served on file, no, the time to appeal against it is running. And by the time I will be aware, 28 days later, 1 year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, no, now we need right of appeal. Now appeal no court. Because the statutory right of appeal no, is gone. It may be, sir, ubetimi aye judicial review. But judicial review is 90 days from the date of decision. And it may also be say a court. Although in very particular exceptional circumstances, obetimi aye ma time gone no omobe waive. But it's very difficult. Going to apply for judicial review, very, very expensive. The statutory immigration appeal is usually cheaper because the court fee is about 140. Lawyers' fee, give and take, maybe it will be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4. Judicial review, potentially, you're looking about a few thousands of pounds. We need livelihood. Yes, you may get legal aid, but Ghana, here, we legal aid in the world. Cambodia, na Bana ya pamo se wintimimba, here, we legal aid in the world. And this is why we're trying to bring the community's attention to this particular bad law. This is the worst law that can ever happen to community cohesion and integration. Sadly, UK are very diverse. Or represented diversity in this cabinet. She's the person who's pushing this very, very bad law against her own people. There's no two ways about it. It is against her own people. And you saw the MP, Mihotra, who represents Asians both from Uganda or East Africa and Asians in this country. Can you imagine, say, Yaje or non-British citizen, you're free. I'm going to never go back to Uganda because that's where they came from. Now Ugandans will say, anymore, Miss Mihotra, we don't know you. You're a British citizen. How are we going to accept you? Because Uganda allowed dual nationality. And they will tell us, we don't care. The British government will say, we don't care, just like they're doing to Shamima Begum. Shamima Begum's example, some people will say, well, she's done very bad things, so it's okay. But in certain situations, it can apply to your child, to my child, to Kofi's child, to Kwame's child, and to even Ms. Patel's children. to Kwesi Kwarteng's children. It can apply to them. And that is why we believe, sir, they haven't thought through this particular law. And it is a very, very bad law, which we must all fight. At this late stage, we still can influence it because laws can be revoked. And we think, sir, where the representation is stronger now, potentially we're looking over 3 million people who this law can affect. Over 3 million people. Now, that for me, it is life-changing decisions which ought to be given the utmost needed consideration and Sana Abaye Act.
Wow, Uncle Ben, thank you. I think time is going. I've got one last question, and I'll open the phone lines. And in case someone wants to ask a question, it can be based on the topic that we are discussing today. However, if you've got a different topic or different question, not necessarily based on what we are discussing, you are still welcome to ask your question. Telephone lines, maybe bonus is here, but before, let me also acknowledge those of you watching us. Thank you so much for your numbers today, and please keep sharing and keep liking. Nana Adimai, Nyami Inshra, share. Nana Adimai, Chiawan, Kwabna, Kwache, Onso, Yedawase, Yenya Bat, Liduma. I say, Odinchia, Dominic, FF, Asamoah, fine, or Bisana say, Sandra, Bafa Fabi, Sandra Fraser, a very special good morning to you, baby Biara, or see, share and, Patronela. Yeah, share and, keep watching. I'll see greetings, Magneti. Tiliduma, share. Dudona Abaso Fred Amoa, I say hello, lovely family. Ben Ose Richie Dogbe, good morning, my love, Professor and Mani Medase. Nana Hima Sapon, good morning, Ebusian for or the chair, my air cost a dosu papaya or so, or also the chia Sarah Pinzo, or also was so. Miss Remo, monkey pon, that Monshe, Yame and Shram say, and more ya dear pa. Uncle Ben, me numbers, maybe, Kobe Battery, okay, answer. Just hold on 1 minute, I'll call you back in a minute. Near Etene say, question, I may baby Sano. Let me put the numbers down. Numbers I need you might take for another for numbers I did you mano. Bakupena, yeah, 0208 123 1016. A old number. Another one also here 075 966 20154. And also, sir, Namesremo, Ufray and Skype, so Ufray and WhatsApp, so Nina, a baby true. Na Ubanswa, a no way, but na ya sheste ye till na also tea and cat, naturally, you may know, Akosu Jojo, until Ube to me afraid. Uncle Ben, me question back one. Na me bisa say, me can ya be through. Me bisa say, Ube tu kwai na unnim problem ya ukwa ku face. Ube tu kwai. Ube say uhu say. Pachowa wa fre hold on 1 minute. Why?
Yo.
Nietiani say, Ube tu kwai. Do you think say you have to inquire over fre home office? Yes, Pacho lower we do you think say you call the home office to inquire say I am bia now might take a decision on answer no enyamba forward answer na way to find send hebeya ohu enkonkochere wana Uncle Ben.
Well, I mean, first of all, no, I don't know, I was a so back can't or how. And he said, can't or how. Now, let me just share the statistics. Since 1976 since 1983 up to almost deprive almost citizenship near about 485. Every year, almost deprive for 65 of British citizenship. In the scheme of things, with the current law, yes, people are being deprived of their citizenship. Most of it on fraud and also national security grounds, usually with association with terrorists or financing of terrorism, and also taking active part in terrorism. But there are also instances Home Office mistakes and decisions challenging almost about 12 or 13 decisions over the last 3 years about deprivation of British citizenship except one you're winning now that tells you sir the decision can be wrong. You see, this is where I have my problem. If the Secretary of State gets her decisions right now, we don't have a problem. I'm using our firm as an example. In the last 3 years, we've had about 11 deprivations. Apart from one, we won all of them. Some went to court, which we won, and about 6 were withdrawn. The intention to deprive was withdrawn because we were able to provide other evidence and explain the circumstance. It be a misunderstanding. And then you put the Home Office decisions, immigration decisions, a court tribunal, and they're losing about 60%. Judicial reviews, they're losing about 15%. Even if it's 1%, that will be an unlawful decision. And that tells you, sir, where you're taking decisions, and some of the decisions have been found to be unlawful, illegal, or not in accordance with the law. Where you don't tell people, you don't give notice, you don't give opportunity for people to challenge the decision. And we know historically, some of the decisions have been wrong. It means that the government will be making wrong decisions, unchallenged, and this will be life-changing for people. It might affect parents and children and grandparents and generations of families. And for us, as lawyers, we highlight, we explain, but we also remind people, sir, you can still speak to your MP, but also be mindful, sir, where you have a child who was born in this country, if the child is involved in an act, particularly heinous crime, it may be rape, it may be murder, it may be criminal damage, it may be anything. Any crime which brings the Secretary of State involved with your life, she can take away your British citizenship. That, of course, will be known to you. But there might also be historical offenses spent. They can use that against you and not provide you with a notice because they will say it's impractical. They will say they don't know your whereabouts. They will say because of national security. They will say because of diplomatic reasons. And they will say for other reasons, we will not give you notice. The only time you become aware that your citizenship has been taken away is when your work has stopped, your driver's license has been revoked, your benefit has stopped, your bank account has been taken away because you don't have status in this country. And for us, once those things begin to happen in your life, it is life-changing and it is not right, particularly where you were not given notice of it. My TM say we mute.
Pacho, good morning. Uncle, what's your name?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pacho, this is our question.
The question is, if we would still be right on staying, and I just mentioned investment on it, and I know, but therefore, it's the pension, secure bank account, you said you're waiting, but investment, be a wire, I need a pension, and then get it in the one, and only the question on the person. Because when you write and you might be property, you are investing in pension, yes, this is question here. So when you be now for your money say document to say house bills, and most things say and you might be electronically. Yeah, one of your maybe pay slip and pay slip or a all inclusive. And does it affect you in any way? So when you actual utility bill, now put the bank statement, does it affect you in any way? When you see the question,
Okay. Uncle Ben, in Patugina, so obey answer next year. Why?
First of all, say yes, triple or for citizenship, pension and or lawful residence. And to see a triple for citizenship, still no, ubenya or pension, because pension and or lawful residence. A is car what contribute to, and tis I was say a demawa, now was say a demao. That is one. The second part, benefits maybe were won't mean claim. It be a non-means tested, it be a means tested, it be a contribution based. So contribution based benefits, I don't fa or lawful residence. The second question I will be say what your application. I was who provided documents. So what your application, of course, I also provided documents, pay slips, bank statement, utility bills. So I need money, ubiti me at the account. My name say I don't know how explanation. But no the particular question I will be sir. Tis also a lawful residence. Now was say with me explaining lawful residence. Now we provided supporting evidence that says over her lawfully.
Okay.
I will see it.
Sorry,
I assure say you protect you.
Pachomia.
Training on Papa of fresh Skype no, who now was so would not swatch Pacho Casa Alcabeti. Wow, Fred 0208 Namano.
Hello, Pachomia.
Pacha, yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Good morning.
Good morning, Papa.
Yeah. The Pacho, the question you na most started program no. Me late kakra.
Okay.
And ebiana and a topic no one am the achem.
Okay.
The person me de me ba eba. Na meaning say as I said, me so responsible before say meeting me dinner because of say my meno Ghana and nti sisi enra move na fi ne ma meno ho after obi fufuro ho a wo hwe no different cities and our town. Na me de na go to school. Na me pacho me person me who say school no sa communication na say me nya me check ya kwala no ne welfare o school na de no say ye through WhatsApp messages ya ye bet me use to say be administrator na say the akwala teacher be communication I mean any benya no a WhatsApp message I bet me possible say be use no attach document time do some the neighbor na
Okay.
Well, yes, first of all, no, question now will be about sole responsibility. Enti obi o wa ha bia no se opeso de na be free outside ebetena ha. E wo se wo kire se awofo no mienu nyina ni ha na ba ko pe na wa ha. Se ba ko na oni ha no onka ba bia na onwu ya. Ene wo se wo kire bibia friend sole responsibility. So responsibility na asechira na say although say physically no wunni Ghana ana ba bia akola no wo no yet no ni school kom na damfo fam na didiem na yariem na sorry kom ni bibia no wo na wo ye now betimi a kire saade no by providing evidence no will be documentary evidence WhatsApp messages and so evidence see a court na gitum criminal prosecutions be brave the WhatsApp messages na enti evidence court na accept it, even at the tribunal level also omoje to say communication with school administrator ubetimi di akere akere say all those any maame wo Ghana no when I will take all the decisions major decisions including education or you're interested in education send or perform no yes ubetimi di aye ubetimi use so and it will help for I say will be show say so responsibility when I was so responsibility
Was that come why? I'm so they are to so many far when so what will number and the 5434 patch when they do so your friend send out as a friend.
Hi, I'm Pastor Simon Linda. Me patch me person me inquiry kakra. Na ya da masin so me djuma pa mo djuma for yeah. I me patch me say about ohima no birthday na obedi in June no na any opportunities be out there omo dia man ko for so metimi aba ha aba be celebrate ohima birthday no. Na obi wa ha oye be ma ne girlfriend ya work on na ohu ni da na so e phone so kasa ne message ne is ka send man na me bisa say obetumi man invite ama na ba abehwe ohima birthday ni bia na say agi say oba na mu an application just say no no na e ba ni birthday.
Okay well obia wo ho kwan say oba visit UK enti under your appendix V here for visitors you know as a general visitor no reason I would ba no I was say a genuine reason ana abiom over resources would tia so obi na tia ma so a obamba justification the entire spending ska wo ho so and a girlfriend of course that could be one of the justification so wo ban so we always advise ade a wo ba abaye no ye ho itinerary ye ka se itinerary a na kire se baby a wo be call baby a wo be visit say Buckingham Palace and I say opesa ne ohema ne be did ne birthday Residency a opesa wo ba ehina wo be ba ko gina ne sa ne ma no ne nyina na wo say wo setting out clearly e wo cover letter the here titru and returnability so you can say returnability a ne ye kire se nipa na all ba no betimi a kire se obeko ho any reason I am the refusing crofo bebre to obi wo ho a sabio na obehun say the bank account no neska kom bebre within a short period of time na all your application why explain it what I always tell people they say what the bank account to call na bibi or very unusual maybe also here or access bank you 5,000 cedis a month but within a bank account no every month be also 2,000 3,000 ekum I was say we explain it for course 2,000 and 3,000 ifi and I will be a cheuska if I say 20,000 Ghana cedis and 10,000 our bank account now what they training a can reasons evidence I would they say no ntiyama umra explain bibi a bank account to mo bia no I was say we explain it the other thing I was some more very sure no say because Ghana a third world country no one more assessment and can say objective na subjective. Into the subjective assessment and say obi ofi kro bia sabio sebe omoye develop bia no omunya ha omba omonko. Enti when I was say we kire de enti a oba obeko And normally will be with connection to Ghana, marriage, family, children, ownership of properties, assets, good income, business, work, and our particular community role will play. Explain in the cover letter, very detailed, my reasons in Tia Wobana. It will be helpful to sort of girlfriend or bar. Or Banuako, that is what visitors visa is about. Or Mambetana, all those or your girlfriend. Ti ontre di intia, a chrese oba obeko.
Why?
Yo, Madam Martin, so.
Oh, Uncle Ben, sorry, the 9 o'clock. Into it to me answer the first one.
Well, second one, or say IHS, Adana Omutia, because or yeah, Juma. And I agree with him. Case in High Court twice, Nina my boy go. I think so we should still push. Because so we tax, we national insurance contribution. Now we VAT. Will contribute to the coffers of the exchequer. We see can be near the shemrewa. We see can be near the or more benefit. We see kakaho and a year roads. We see kakaho and a soja for. We see kakaho and a DTR nurses. It's other than a see ka a DTR nurse. No, yes, we are Ghana near indefinite stay. No, so we'll renew visa under immigration rules. And what I was saying to another tax. Because the immigration health surcharge, a levy, a tax. It is tax on immigrants. And again, that is unfairness of the whole situation. A tax in the sense it is towards particular aspects of our nation building, which is health. Wrong, we think. And I think, minimum gather evidence. Eventually, the best amount to another case again. The first one, no, your backlog wo and it's still there. COVID, no, the last one, all those as deadly as the previous ones, no. Yet, so infectious. What tested positive? I was so caught in a fee. Home Office at Troy, I apologize. I do a massa account, say, almost recruiting crowd. In fact, almost recruiting crowd who train you. And Tinyame Aduma within the next couple of months, no. Omu training omu via, or member backlog and abafom. But munim sana ye nkrofu itie. Nemeni bi home de. Hona, I was up Patel, Home Secretary. Hona was an adwin no ko. And yes, stripping people of their British citizenship. Where omu ni case workers are, omu ye assessment on both EU applications, immigration applications, no. A delay. The only thing I make actual biano so say, we your application now. I sure say evidence I will be here. Why upload nina? Yes, na omumba back embeje evidence biom na abuama case no ako wa.
Okay.
Hello.
Uncle Ben, that's it. But your number ended with 3955. When you do so, 3955.
Okay. Oh, good morning, Manya. Good morning, Uncle Ben. Pacho, this is one or two questions.
Pacho, page our voice, Kakrama, why?
Pacho, yeah. Pacho, person bisa Uncle Ben one or two questions. I'll start with the first one. Later, now, must start the second one. But Pacho, first one here, Me fill from MN1. First and foremost, medical assistant. My correct father's name no one best so 2 now they say me from MN1 amano na person me bisa say minya dipo enka ho together with from MN1 and say after say from MN1 division number you know no my dipo no name my passport application the patron in the first one.
Okay, Uncle Ben.
Well, I mean, say assessor or badin our birth certificate in so say din in a home office be use. To din our birth certificate in so no. Say enya din na opese use na obetimi aye deed pool aka ho. But say the same name na o assessor was so na we here deed pool. But of course, yes, obetimi dey aye deed pool. So where a din no our birth certificate in different. Yes.
Okay, you me that say but your second one me boniti awa related to student finance application. Young fan say me 2 years previous studies other country which is Europe. Now on my assessment and on who say my study will be for 2 years. Now my entitlement no my deductions no me 3 years founding. In the fan say me 1 second year. Even though I say me 3 years founding, I'm still no. Me qualify for me 3rd year and subsequent years. Then I'm telling me say how is it the calculation being made, me pacho?
Well, until set me who decision letter no mint me comment it. First of all no send a nyina monim no obi wa has European national and in the busuafo almost entitled to student finance or study in Europe in finance and sometimes you know almost factor in. And minim exactly law now my use no opa send a decision no bra you better na tailored advice. Why?
Okay, you me that's it, Uncle Ben.
Yes,
Let me
yes,
show.
that's it.
That's it, man. You bye bye.
Pachowa Unama and the 2633 no make people hold. Now bisa second question, Pacho bisa.
Question on the set. Me 2.5 data. 2.5 me national insurance on my salary data, which is about 250 a month. Now me for renew this as I say. Now I'm charging 1,000 plus. Now if you feel much more maybe say because I think yes
Okay, you say opinion on also was so Anna. When you are more honest, you Uncle Ben.
Well, and I'm a whole answer no. So we to our tax, we to our national insurance, we to our VAT, all contributed towards the exchequer's coffers. Exchequer coffers and the they supply NHS billions of pounds every year. Usikana wutiana ebika. Intiada na was yes migrant tax on health. Unfair. I call high court twice. Ningina judges no and lawyers na nyadwen. But me sure sabesa kubium near year free. Say yeah now we are illegal, nothing now we have application there, that's fine. But so utia tax. So where is the fairness in this? So we are double tax because so we are immigrant. The only reason we are double tax and I say we are immigrant. That's what it is. And when you're illegal, we are legal. There is an unfairness in the system. Yes.
Okay, Papa, so entity but you go so I fight it. Why?
Now, the first question also was about renewal dates. Now, I'm saying the category answer response.
Well, make us delay our system. Home Office actually, I think about a couple of weeks in it. Omo apologize for the delay. Omo explain it. Say COVID nearby, and my omo lose staff be brave. Afi staff na nya adwuma wo fi omo nya adwuma wo office omo ye adwuma wo fi for that reason no omo recruit staff bebrea omo training omo tie nche bi omo be training omo wie omo wie a omo expect say backlog no ebeba form.
Okay.
Apply within 28 days in one.
Oh, what kind of time I would be apply? I mean, sena obi anim no. Say wo immigration leave to remain so. Or call for renewal la. I almost said the earliest time I'll be to me apply 28 days before say we leave no be expire. But again, you know, as we all know, within the law, no, almost say even who apply before, now almost year with decision, no, now leave our car wadi no so no, and more than 2 months, almost the back can't leave no. You know, you can do it 2 months before, but sometimes, you know, I ofi outside by the calculation of the 28 days, and I am be 18. A date now what now have for 30 months no? Because I'm buy a mom 33 months. And yes, it will be 33 months in England. And you don't see an issue. Yes, I am a Shannon so.
Okay. Yeah, that's it, Papa. So I share program maybe.
If I show me share this is here.
Bomade. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Other phobia so the national patch of mommy 1 minute, na main kind be comment. Na Tama Uncle Ben Eka say you might lose almost everything. Or can I say, please, do you mean your insurance to will be paid for your circumstance? Your insurance won't be paid for your circumstances. And Uncle Ben, I'm saying na or can in case they strip off your citizenship, some of the effects may be about so.
Well, insurance, a contractual agreement between a business and an individual to say our life policy, or income protection, or health protection, medical insurance, and are covered. You don't lose that because we are illegal. Because it's never been the case we are insurance with social status. It may be by insurance, and I refer to national insurance for your pension there. You don't lose your pension, no. Because omo matana hadana omuni hano. So omo pension do still on bit me a claim omo pension will crow na omo one so. Just say ye the same amount because standard of living in Ghana no slightly lower than here. And sorry, cost of living, not standard, cost of living slightly lower. It is an omo share normally bit but still being your pension.
Okay. Yeah, that's Obi was some patronama ending 9802. What's the main can?
Me patron me se on kapa me be ma share bidre.
Yeah, that's it. Patron Kasanko Ben 80.
Mpacho from na me free looting. Me question ni ye me no. Me patcho di edi kan ye me den me wife buy. No buy you bedru ye no omo man 2.5. Almost on ya allowed for public fund. And as you see, and so buy a wababe, Magia Kalani British passport here. But was a drew them a quack could renew. Nevesa Noa. So known as a semi 18,600. And no year one. And I'm patching my second question here. Mimi crack indefinite. And no say, Minyanji me British passport no. But me 10 years no a year soon. But you know so no me renew now and also we start me say piano. That's all my question.
So we renew there we indefinite now. Well, we renew indefinite. We renew indefinite. We replacement biometric card. My name is Sana will be sad there. Because indefinite be anywhere you renew. Once a day no indefinite nature say enwuda I just say agye from sem enti say wo card na biometric residence card na we status no was eno na ewu na wo renewal say fee no anyesika bia I think say it's under £200 or so obetimi aye no online there but say wo ka say wonya wo 10 years na wo koye wo British yes and obetu I think say it's about 1,230 Obetueska, Obey life in UK, Obey English at level B1. English at level B1 is speaking and listening. BMO B1 is speaking, listening, writing, and reading. But Mambo DNE is speaking and listening. So that is the difference. So, wife, almost no recourse. That's what it means. Because of the 5-year route, To Obana, I want to bet me a child benefit in Amano. Affect yes, apply. I will say we show some more household, more income, 18.6 until we say we need 18.6, with 6 months pay slips, 6 months bank statement, last P60 employer's letter. If you I was some more chess and watching for 30 months, or more 33 months, but the renew and obey 30 months. Or more the proof of course watching album documents to cover that period, more the mobile birth certificate, then the passport copy, why application online. Wa upload bibia call online, what book biometric appointment a manner, no acquire an application. It's very, very straightforward.
Before I remember, stripping off your citizenship, question. Say, Ebani say, crime why you crime be paying? NBA traffic. We have we make a petty little crime. Do why maybe a shoplifting and they actually pay a man caution. Obi why you driving offenses maybe repeatedly and the amount of caution and then be a man suspended sentence near the other. Now so no saa when mu nyina wo ho ansa or kwakoye British citizen no and na ye the citizenship no e de ama no. In your opinion, do you think say such crimes in Kitwana actually because you made mention so be there cry 11 years ago no omudi no and also nya similar. Do you think say after our committee when you we a kra na or kwakoye citizenship na ye de ama no? Is there any way as the mono besa come back? I bet to me, yes, on Bejina, so they are stripping off now.
Well, I mean, first of all, we have British citizenship. I will say we declare any criminal offense, even those are spent. I will say we declare. Bear in mind, say caution, say a conditional caution, and I say general caution. Conditional caution, I expire after our discharge condition. But any caution be a year. Another way of discharging or otherwise dealing with a criminal offense. And the caution be a dear my caution about a criminal offense. And instance of me prosecute you, wo admit your guilt. And internal police, I'm out either conditional caution or a general caution. And I will say we declare. Idea any say we declare a parking ticket. Wako jina abia yellow line so. And I wako for one way. And no mono a penalties. Certain penalties I will say we declare to say TV license. When Tiania they will call magistrate court, I will say declare. Traffic offense, speeding, driving otherwise in accordance with your license, driving under the influence, either drugs or alcohol. So any money banned offenses until will affect our British citizen. To when declare nature the mouth, nature of course they will come back. They could revoke it because of fraud and our misrepresentation. Because one year disclosure, a misrepresentation.
Okay, yatia honasi na yebeshe not just one way or the other one, but whereby you also declare all those things. But yes, still they gave you the citizenship. That means you declare, say, what committing all these crimes, what stated in your application, yet it came back positive in the amount citizenship, no, and American. It is our demons now, what can't trouble, no. Can they go back and then stand on it and then strip you off again because you made them aware? Answer. So in that case, these offenses were committed before declaring it to them, and then they gave you your citizenship. So how or why is it that they will go back to these demons to come and strip you off again?
Okay. Well, so we declare offenses, even those spent, now more the mawa when you're born biya. Say almost the bibi basi a from them because when declare, of course we declare. But case na America say yeah. Then nipa no were indefinite leave. And why adibi for a long time, but for almost about 7 years, no new offense be other. The old offense now was 7 whole sentence, I don't know person modeba, and we successfully defended it. And the indefinite leave no more reinstated. Yeah.
As I'm mute. Yeah, that's Uncle Ben. Yo, me only pay me, even though your time near born 11, now come on one question online, and then if me, me keep one more hold into memphis. Now I tell you 5 minutes be now for answer my questions and man in the pouch. And you know, first one, but your number ended with 7841. 7841. Pacho, your friend say what as a friend.
Me pacho me dike my boss but a cashier into my second question now.
Okay, koso.
Me pacho all these applications say be a okofa or yere okofa obama. Say we show 6 months statement or the attached. Now me pacho question is say a compulsory say unya amount to be up to say na because kro mu ayewe enipa ne bebre ye pay no enso ye di ebeto mu aneko enti eno ana mpese ada ma me hu say utimi why wagin say within 6 months o kofa family member bi ne die say o pesika bi tum no de men fa on sanka nko kra.
No. The air Kenyan income, and you with savings, and you can't savings as them. Okofa baba your income, okofa your by income. Tisa unya even 20,000. Nabusumen usika no krasa ubi amfa. What the here say obechere say income no edu level no either say 18.6 and 22.4. And as income support level, a friend is adequate maintenance. Yeah. I'm saying, when mute you home.
The patcho me imagine say me trace cano admission fee straight to my account no. School account to me, yes, sir. Unfortunately, receipt ni buy na me who say me editing for so long because na me use social provider no for so long. Ma move from that address. And after that and also no, me dino my year changes kakra. Enti say in case be in future no. Admission fee, the first admission fee, but the best document a bit more possible once I'm a change of name certificate, any proof of address,
Yes, my historical record, and historical record is important. To wait me the account. Why? Okay.
That's
Yes, that's it, Papa. Pacho, may hold it ubinsu waha for long. I'm say, yeah, also, Okasa frame my antonka. Yes, go on. pacho ubema
Manyeti, and Aaron Gaffam. And ya mami summary no.
na or can about say we be our company or person or fan for like this the program we did last week into
Ya be
nutshell no person na or say also onya sika bi e won account mo that's the business account mo ana fee a obetua applying to the home office or applying to the lawyers and in a nutshell no dey no here say obetumi ayese adwuma.
Well, first of all, our business now per sponsorship license. I was also follow law now. Sponsorship license no demand. First of all, why register our business? Our HM revenue reference, or unique tax reference number. So which you have VAT, our VAT registration certificate, or bank account, because we have bank statement and a letter free bank. Or premises into say we na we use our farm we use we no rent baby a we agreement a biom say we more than one staff why a hierarchy diagram why ideally no why a business plan or accounts why a business nature or SA 302 I tax self assessment forms I have fill it or accountant why accounts somehow either audited or unaudited, and our management accounts. So our staff are with your PAYE tax reference. Now why your application I call the sponsor license for no. I call the sponsor license for member reference number. Now I upload supporting documents. Supporting documents we bet your letter account. Why explaining opening hours? Omo we adwuma. Adentin na open license. Wo bi a obeje no. Ahina wo betua no. Or criminal conviction. Professional body be we are registered. Business ban na wo ye. What is any money nyina akwa within 8 weeks on be my decision. On my decision I be my access to be a friend SMS and access sponsorship management system. I want I will be used to be a friend electronic certificate. A friend of course, COS, certificate of sponsorship, but I electronic into a code B. Would the code no many pana or the buy an application? But the amount me Kenya I twofold. All licenses near different. Nipana woman abanon so you're different. Nipana woman abano. I was so English at level B1. I speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Internet speaking and listening per. No, you dedicated the whole 2 hours for our programming. Our businesses, you bet you must send a mobile team in Crofwaba, and no more about the son of your application be successful. But here's a obey involve lawyer because yes, straightforward, sir. And I say yes, straightforward because the Ayama microphone in there's an aspect of it, home office, as all my franchise or my Jumana Mao. 1% more sure, so one more system. Ubetimi di aye adwuma no desa no momo ye o madwuma no ana nipa na wa man license wa man course ana se electronic certificate na certificate of sponsorship no aye genuine position nso ye genuine vacancy no ye genuine salary no ye genuine nipa no to say care assistant ana se carer say omu ni particular education requirement but at least you know who experience it's helpful. Enti omo pay no about £8.26 an hour. Enti nipa na also try about 16,700 a year. So that's how low it is. But also only 50 points. Enti course no emane 20 points. Ana English language no or by B1 no speaking, listening, writing and reading no and also man 10 points. So your shortage occupation onya extra 20 points ka ho. And I feel so the other part, income non-so, and also man points. Because there was standard income for certain areas. And an area beer, profession beer, career beer, trade beer, I want the code. And in America say and that form. ONS, our codes, home office for our codes. I was all fitting within. A bit of we need the exact code, but we need industry code. We better use industry code for particular careers. A China from 4 to 6. ye bechere mashada dedicate because nkrofo bisa pa from A to Z exactly the obeya obetimi the age license no na wetimi di obi aba carers ade no be no from February but still no your carers aspect within the health and care industry now still obetimi de nkrofo aba omu nyina was shortage occupation enti echina ye bechere ni nyina
Yo, Uncle Vedas, say, Yemrin, I have be out, Vigina, so now so Miss Reno, your cassie, the hard, your friend is a radio, need the BW radio, name say, time linked, because of a scheduled program already based on the system, no, a movie kakra from the program, but I'm very certain, say, I'm back. I don't form with you on YouTube, much.
Are you muted? My name is we are muted. My name is we are muted. Oh, it's repeating itself. Manya, I'm say a luso. And you know, I'm saying, ne, a hand ye dibesi. Nyame adoma a china between 4 and 6. Yabeka about sponsorship licenses, no. Sena ebeya ebeboa mu nyina. Sena obetimi wo business, obetimi aya license no. Sena obetimi di obi aba na nipa na wode no ba no so no so wo ehye a wo so ye. Ti nyame adoma a china. Yeda mu nyina se ma bebeka ye ho. Na yeda ye radiant so aseso he. Ti nyame adoma a china ebehu mu nyina. Bye bye.
Ye fema ye wo London. Ya jia basobodie bebre. Ni ya redare ewo mransemu. Eye legal services. BTC family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary, any family law. Wo BWF die. Yen solicitors edi enijie ene twitwaje wo na ye bo nso nya den kra. Yen partner penimpa Bernardo Wusu aye lawyer ewo UK memu bebru mfie duonu nkron 29 years. BWF Solicitors kura won ho. Inti se ba na ebusuansem bi te se child care eya abofrahwe mu awaregya ye ho twuma mentwe ene ohye ana injunction ye de to domestic violence so a ye ma legal assistance ya edimu na ye adwuma nso. Yen child care any family team no nimnia wo famu ewe ne ya wo brei mu enu ntine yeto ye mbo ase ma wafutu a esefata ewo kokoa mu. Yen senior partner eyo